Good morning. I'm going to be doing this video that myself this morning. Kim's actually still finishing up sleeping from the night before. I came down early to get a good cup of coffee. But after we actually did this last night, we recapped our day, and I messed up the video, so little does she know that I'm actually down here redoing it so we don't miss a day. But yesterday we spent the morning with our guide, and we went to some handicraft villages. We started off at an umbrella making village, which was simply incredible. We weren't really sure what we were getting into, but to find out all the details of how they made these umbrellas, starting from actually taking the bark of the tree and baking it, and then they would we actually saw demonstrations of how they hand carved all these little twigs and branches down into the spines of the umbrella. And these ladies would just sit there all day long and make these spines for these umbrellas. Of course, then they would put the paper that the hand made from scratch on top of these spines, and then they would dry them out and paint them. But again, just amazingly fascinating to see firsthand. Of course, then you could buy the umbrellas and support their business. But they actually offered and painted right on Kim's shorts. So we spent, I think it cost us $3 to have them paint right under her shorts. But it turned out very, very beautiful. It took them literally probably 5 minutes to paint this. But I never thought Kim would let somebody just paint on her shorts, but she did, and enjoyed every minute of it, and does not regret a second of it. But then we moved on to a lacquer place where they painted and finished different sorts of pots and wares with lacquer or inlaid mother of pearl, and we saw that process. And then we were on to cotton place where they actually made fabrics from scratch. From the cotton itself, they removed the seeds, spun it into thread, put it on their looms, and formed it into fabric. But one thing that the one reason we chose Thailand in the first place is to see if we could make some connections for silver. It was because of the silver trade here is why we came here. And in our journeys, we told our guide Supa this was one thing we were really interested in. And we're not sure, but yesterday we spent some time speaking to one of the silver handcraft companies in the area, and we left them with some samples. We talked pricing. It's interesting enough though, but when we went from a customer on a local level to just buying one or two to potentially doing some wholesale business with them, we were offered coffee and teas and drinks, and the whole level changed. It was just quite interesting to see happen. But this is Kim kind of talking some finalizing details with them. They're going to be sending some samples to our hotel in Koh Tao probably, so that we have a chance to look at the samples and inspect them before we actually leave Thailand, and might actually wrap up some sort of initial dealings with them that we could then move forward later and do some more business with them. But we'll see. This might actually be a good thing that we've worked out. After the silver place, we moved on to some woodworking handcraft companies where we saw them doing intricate hand carvings on these, anywhere from beds to cabinets to chairs to, again, little souvenir type of things. But it was just fascinating to watch these guys work on these crafts that have been handed down from year to year. After that, we came back and I think we actually napped. We actually napped yesterday for several hours, catching up on our sleep. One thing I wanted these journals to be is just kind of something in between the photographs, a way for us to journal our own activities here in Thailand and some of our findings. Yes, one thing yesterday we didn't talk about that we didn't have photos for is we actually visited an orphanage here in Thailand, and it was a private orphanage. It was not government funded or ran, where 43 kids were taken care of up until the time they were 6 years old. But we were able to go into this orphanage and spend some time with the kids, very brief time. But when we literally walked into the room, they just finished changing their drawers, and all these there was probably 15 to 20 kids in the room just running around, bouncing around naked, and wanting us to. We instantly turned into jungle gyms, and I'm like, that's weird. I think I'll pass. But they finally put their clothes on, and then we swung them and just kind of spent some time with them. But they were full of energy, as you would expect. But that was a neat side note of the day. Walking the streets at night or walking the streets period, has been very comfortable. The military coup obviously is still in effect. There's a military presence, but it doesn't seem to definitely doesn't seem to affect the people. The people are very appreciative and think it has been a good thing. So it seems very peaceful. Walking the streets is very comfortable, probably more so than even in a lot of places in Orlando, but never once have we felt intimidated or anything. We can comfortably walk the streets even at night, if you're on a back street and you're the only ones on the street. It just seems for some reason to be comfortable. So there hasn't been any concerns there. We did go back out last night to the market. The night market, they all pretty much seem the same type of wares, same type of food, but lots and lots of people. You can see from this photograph, every corner, every nook and cranny, you would have people set up selling foot massages for basically what amounts to $2 to $3 for an hour of a foot massage, and you can sit there, but literally hundreds of people on varying corners would just get foot massages. Definitely a way for them to make money. A lot of spas and foot massage places on every corner. Again, the people. I don't know if you could have a more crowded street. But again, always comfortable, no commotion. People very patient, waiting their turn. Just enjoying being out. We sampled a lot more things last night and tried some of the different types of foods and stuff. Very good. After that, we just took our time getting back to the hotel and stopped for some food on a balcony restaurant that overlooked the city and the streets. I took a photograph that I thought was interesting, just letting us know that we're not so far from home. But this was actually, I think, probably a Japanese couple that just kind of shows that everywhere in the world we still fight the attention of technology. I told Kim this was the photo of the day, so. But that was kind of our yesterday. We're enjoying our time today. We go spend time with a family to do some cooking and eat lunch there, and then later this afternoon we'll come back and catch a train back to Bangkok. But I did want to catch up so we didn't miss a day. It'll be our little secret for a while at least, and that I had to redo this video. But maybe tonight I'll let Kim do hers on her own. So thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.